I think from kind of the system perspective that we see a lot of challenges that in terms of moving forward about the great needs to understand the system and so we can understand the current situation and make future better projections forward. So there are a lot of opportunities we can work together with supercomputing scientists to improve our understanding. But in terms of the challenges facing the supercomputing in the future that I see are several. One is the data privacy issue. This is certainly a moving target area where a lot of data are becoming available. Deciding who should own the data, who have access to the data are important but also challenging issues that we are that are evolving over time. So I can see both the benefits as well as potential trade-offs in more and more data become available and having access to the data that are available for more research and more analysis. So the first challenge I would say is addressing the data privacy issue so the data can be accessible but at the same time provide people's privacy. The second challenge I see is using this building the infrastructure for storing, processing, analyzing, and maintaining the big data for issues that can range from very short time, real time frame to very long time frame. So building the infrastructure that accommodate different needs for different spatial and temporal scales are the second challenge. The third challenge is finding the right question and identifying the right kind of applications given the data that we have. So there's a lot of data today, but they all have different kind of limitations or different strengths. And some of the data are collected for many different purposes. Sometimes they're not designed to answer specific research questions. So for us as researchers, we are constantly trying to identify the right data source and then find the right research question that's suitable to using those data to answer the questions that we're interested in. And the fourth one is related is once we're able to analyze those questions, being able to correctly interpreting the result is also the challenge because some of the data we collected are the big data world, or we are utilizing a lot of what we call potentially accidental data. They're collected for different purposes and different services. So when we collect those data, use some research question, there can be potential biases that we need to be aware of. So being able to analyze the data and ask the right question and interpret them in the correct way, I think, is also the fourth but not the least challenge. I come from the mobility and energy area. And moving forward, I think what we can collaborate with the data scientists from our perspective are to improve. First is to improve the understanding of how the demand will grow in the next few decades, particularly the significant rapid growth that we see from developing countries to meet their future demand in mobility across all modes of transportation. How do we use the new technology and new information to manage this growth in a more sustainable way is one big area that we think we can collaborate and have fruitful products between these two disciplines. The second one is what we're calling that in transport space we have three major evolutions that we haven't seen in the last 100 years. The first one is the electrification of the vehicle technologies, either for the heavy-duty sector or for the light-duty sector. So managing kind of the electricity grid and how people move across space, understanding the consumer's choice and consumer demand is a major research area in the transportation space. The second evolution is the mobility of a service. We are moving toward more sharing economy, from the kind of vehicle, owning a vehicle to owning or demanding transportation service on the fly is the second major evolution in the transportation space. And the third one is autonomous vehicle. With more autonomous technologies are propagating in the vehicle technology, in the light-duty vehicles and transportation in the heavy-duty space, that would potentially have a lot of environmental benefits, such as reduce congestion, reduce emissions, and improve air quality. But you also can bring in a lot of unexpected effects, such as demand growth, for example. So these are three transportation evolution in the transportation space that I think a lot of research still need to be done. And I think there's a lot of collaboration that we can have with the data scientists to improve the projections, improve the understanding of the mechanisms, and provide policy insights for policymakers.